They say it started at 3:07 in the morning, not midnight. That's for theater kids. 3:07 is when the world forgets to watch itself, when ovens are left on, candles are left lit, and sometimes time forgets to move. The square holds its breath. Doors are unlatched. Bread's cooling where hands should be. A bicycle is paused between errands. Above roofs, a crooked clock tower stares at the sky, its hands stuck like a bad joke at 3:07. You listen. Even the silence is working overtime. By dawn, the mist thins enough to see the color of the rooftops, red tiles. The sun hasn't decided to bother with yet, though. A mail carrier named Irina pedals her bicycle through the narrow streets, her breath trailing behind her in short, tired clouds. Her route is ritual. The Tabat shop, the butcher, the teacher's cottage with the cat that hates everyone equally. She rings her bell once, out of habit, not hope. No one answers. No curtains twitch. Even the pigeons on the roof seem to be waiting for a cue that never comes. A door at number 9 stands ajar. Inside, the kitchen smells like warm milk and sleep. A kettle hums, forgotten on the stove. Irene calls out, but the only answer is the hiss of steam. She finds the baker, Amel, slumped in his chair, breathing, warm, eyes closed, as though mid-dream. She shakes his shoulder, nothing. At every doorway, the same thing. People sleeping in strange tableaus, halfway through breakfast, standing by open windows, one woman still holding a broom mid-sweep. The whole town, asleep. By the time she reaches the last house, the weight of the silence is too heavy to pedal through. She turns her bike around, wheels cutting through puddles, and rides back towards the main road, where the world might still be awake. By noon, the road to the village looks like the set of a film no one remembers hiring extras for. Police cars idle. The mayor stands in his slippers, insisting everything was fine, which we all know is international code for we've lost control. Doctors move from house to house, muttering vitals like prayers, breathing, yes. Responsive, no. Still snoring like a walrus, definitely. They line the sleepers up in the square under tents, turning it into a makeshift medical picnic no one is RSVP'd for. Someone suggests playing loud music, classical, because nothing says wake up like Wagner at full volume. There's no response, not even a twitch. Then when someone tries coffee, no effect, but morale improves. And all around the square, the clocks are wrong. Everyone stopped exactly 3:07 a.m. Wristwatches, stove timers, wall clocks. Time itself apparently took the day off and didn't bother leaving a note. It's the first time in history anyone's seen a whole town actually on the same schedule. A young official tries to brief the press, stammering through his statement, kind of like I do through these videos, about environmental sleep phenomena. The headline writes itself before the ink dries. The village that napped through Monday. By day 2, the fog has teeth and the reporters have arrived. You can smell the coffee, fear, and ambition blending into one glorious perfume. Among them is one journalist, the kind who flies stories about ghosts but still demands sources. He flashes his press badge like it means anything to the men in hazmat suits. They let him in anyways, probably hoping he'll touch something and become part of the story. He starts dictating notes into a recorder. Day 2, the air tastes like aspirin. Everyone's asleep except the ones pretending not to be scared. He walks the cobblestones, every house a photograph of stillness. A man standing mid-shave with foam frozen in time. A cat curled on the butcher's chest like it's on a security detail. The cat's doing a better job of guarding the meat than the police are guarding the evidence. The journalists interview a medic who looks like he hasn't blinked since Tuesday. They've ruled out gas, radiation, bad seafood, and collective boredom. One theory left, something that dreams through them. He files a story draft that night, title pending, sanity optional. And outside his tent, the clock tower looms above the fog, its frozen hands just barely visible through the haze. When the wind dies, he hears, or he thinks he hears, a tick. Just one. like a throat clearing from time itself. By the third night, someone always brings up the legend. It starts the same way, whispered, like gossip that's been fermenting for a century. They say there was once a clockmaker who lived in this very village, a quiet man who loved gears more than people, which, to be fair, sounds kind of nice. His wife fell ill one winter, a slow illness, the kind that drains time drop by drop. He begged for more time, prayed, cursed, and then built something. A clock so intricate, it didn't just measure time, it kept some for itself. When it struck 13 for the first and only time, his wife woke up, and the village lost an hour they never got back. The priest called it witchcraft. The mayor called it a public relation problem. The clockmaker just called it maintenance. I mean, you have to admire a man who can literally make time for his wife. That doesn't happen very often. Anyways, when he died, the clock tower stopped. No one could fix it. They said the gears had fused together, welded by something that didn't care for hammers. Years later, when the villagers built a new clock, they found the old one's pendulum, still swinging. Now every child grows up knowing the story. If you hear 13 chimes in the night, it's not the clock you should be worried about. It's who it's keeping time for. By day 4, science had taken the wheel, straight into the ditch. The official term now was collective hypnosomatic episode, which is bureaucrat for we have no idea, but we want to sound confident. Theories sprouted like mushrooms after rain. Gas leak? No. Viral outbreak? Nope. Alien interference? Tempting, but the locals preferred their weirdness homemade. One rescuer swore the fog itself might be narcotic. Another blamed electromagnetic waves. A third just muttered something about the moon and asked for more coffee. Meanwhile, the villagers, still out cold, looked peaceful, as if they were all sharing the same dream. And the clocks, those smug little timepieces, remained frozen at 3:07 a.m. It's the first time punctuality ever made people suspicious. Animals began wandering in from nearby farms. Cows, goats, a chicken that achieved local celebrity by roosting on the police car's hood. One scientist, clearly cracking, said, "If they start forming a government, I'm leaving." Then came the first real sign that something was changing. A neurologist monitoring EEGs noticed tiny, synchronized spikes, like someone tapping glass from inside a dream. Every sleeper's brain twitched at the exact same second, 3:07 a.m. And in the distance, the sound of a clock tower shifting like a metal yawn. The next night, no one slept, except the ones who couldn't wake up. The journalists, soldiers, and scientists huddled under tents, eyes red, nerves fried, pretending the ticking they heard was just in their heads. Then, at exactly 3:06 a.m., the Vogue began to move, like it had an opinion. It slid through the square in lazy coils, wrapping around lampposts and faces, whispering against the tent walls. From the direction of the clock tower came a sound, a single, tired, clear click of gears, remembering what they were for. The floodlights flickered. Someone muttered, "That's new." Another replied, "Don't encourage it." Then came the chime. Not 12, not 1, just 13. Deep, hollow, and disobedient. And the sleepers awoke, all at once. Hundreds of eyes fluttered open in unison. The sound wasn't joy or fear. It was confusion, like the whole town trying to remember the same dream and arguing about the ending. A medic shouted. Someone dropped a clipboard. A man sneezed, apologized, and then immediately burst into tears. Even the goat looked startled. If ever you've had to wake up an entire family after daylight savings, imagine that, but with more screaming and less coffee. The EEG monitors spiked like fireworks, then went perfectly flat. The journalists recorded everything, until the power cut out for good. When the lights returned, the tower stood silent again, its clock still stubbornly frozen at 3:07. And everyone who'd been asleep looked at each other like they'd just shared the same bad joke, one nobody wanted to repeat. By sunrise, the town smelled like disinfectant and denial. The government wasted no time sending press releases. Local hypnogenic event. Translation? We're still guessing. Reporters tripped over each other for exclusive interviews, and the villagers gave none. They blinked in the light, shuffled home, and acted like it was just another Tuesday, except for the part where their entire existence skipped another week. Amel the baker reopened that afternoon. His bread sold out almost immediately, mostly to scientists who didn't want to admit that they were superstitious. The goat from the night before followed him around like it had tenure. It's hard to stay skeptical when the livestock seems to know more than your PhD advisor. The clock tower, of course, stayed broken, its hands forever frozen at 3:07. Every watch, timer, and microwave clock in town that had stopped now ticked again, perfectly in sync. And when the power company replaced the cables, their linemen swore they heard humming in the wires, like a lullaby with bad intentions. A government report appeared 6 months later. 47 pages of technical jargon, 12 signatures, and one conclusion. Probably an environmental anomaly. The villagers didn't argue. They just stopped talking about it. And once a year, same date, same hour, the older folks still wake up at 3:07 a.m. They sit in silence and count. 13 ticks, 13 breaths. 13 reasons not to ask questions you don't really want answered. And that was the village that slept for a week. No monsters, no aliens, just a town that took the world's longest nap and refused to explain itself. The official report called it a localized hypnogenic event. The locals still call it a Tuesday. Some mysteries don't roar, they whisper. They hide in the hum of a clock, a skip of a second hand, or the space between one breath and the next. And maybe that's why this story lingers, because deep down, we all have those moments where time stands still and dares us to notice. So if you ever hear a 13th chime in the dead of night, don't panic. Don't even check your watch. Just smile politely and pretend you're already asleep. This is Truth-ish, where it's mostly true and always strange.